Welcome to Vacation Station, hosted by Lisa and Nancy, editors of BigBlendMagazines.com.
Gracious hosts, unique lodging, and tasty cuisine. New Mexico bed and breakfasts are New Mexico true. Our innkeepers are as special as New Mexico, and we're sharing their stories. Read about them and plan your trip at nmbba.org. Hey everybody, welcome to Big Blend Radio with Nancy and Lisa. Every second Thursday we talk about New Mexico travel, food, because it's New Mexico. We talk about events and of course lodgings. And we basically get to chat with innkeepers across the state, the Land of Enchantment. Innkeepers, all who are part of the New Mexico Bed and Breakfast Association. And it's really cool because when you stay in a bed and breakfast, it's really an intimate experience. It's a unique, authentic experience. They always say, stay New Mexico true. You can't get better than staying in a bed and breakfast. And innkeepers really know what's happening in the region. So we love this new series. I encourage you to go to the website, NMBBA.org, stands for New Mexico Bed and Breakfast Association, because they have an awesome map and they have all the different B&Bs listed. And so it's a really great travel resource. And again, every second Thursday is when we do this show. So today we're going to talk about 3 properties, and we're going to talk about summer and fall in New Mexico, and especially in these areas. So we're going to start with Becky O'Connor. She is from Casitas de Gila Guest Houses in Gila, which is near Silver City in southwest New Mexico. And I encourage you to go to our website, Casitas de Gila. So that's Gila for Gila, casitasdegila.com. So welcome, Becky. How are you?
I'm good, thanks. How are you, Lisa?
Doing good. It's good to have you back. And look at that beautiful background of southwest New Mexico, right?
So that is the view from the casitas.
Right there. Just beautiful.
That is it.
And you're really like a nature haven because you're out away. Silver City is your major town, but you're really out. You're out in the boonies.
We are, like as Carolyn is too. We're out in the middle of nowhere, and we absolutely love it. No lights, no noise, no nothing. It's great.
And so nature spot for sure. Very, very cool. I love it. And we love in fact, we love the whole state. So this is really cool. Talk about Carolyn. We're going to go to Carolyn Calfee. She is from the Grand Hacienda in Abiquiu Lake. And this area is outside of Santa Fe and well-known Ghost Ranch with the artist Georgia O'Keeffe. But you can go to our website, thegrandhacienda.com. So welcome, Carolyn. How are you?
Well, thank you. We're excited to be here and we're doing great.
Out in the boonies.
We're also out in the boonies. We are on a mesa top overlooking beautiful Abiquiu Lake. Have a lot of stillness and quiet and no light pollution, no noise pollution. So it's a pretty exciting opportunity to be able to stay out here directly across the lake from Ghost Ranch.
Yeah, because, I know we've had some travel writers on our show that have gone to Ghost Ranch, and then also I know people can stay there, but it's a little different when you're at the B&B. This is a whole different experience. It seems like that's more of a retreat, right? Versus your B&B lodgings where you basically got a luxury resort from what I looked at on your website.
That is right. Our friends at Ghost Ranch offer kind of a rustic experience, and we are definitely in the luxury category. So we have 3 different suites, and all 3 of them are in a hacienda and pueblo style with all the amenities you would need.
Awesome. Nice. Awesome. Okay. So now you're near Santa Fe. So now we're going to go up. So we've got Southwest, kind of Central, North covered here. And now we're going to go up to Taos and chat with Christine Skipinski. Now, I don't know if I said Skipinski. Christine, you're going to have to sort me out on this. But Christine is from Adobe and Pines Inn in beautiful Taos. And I encourage you to go to our website, adobepines.com. So welcome. How are you, Christine?
I'm great. Thank you. Yeah, it's a beautiful day here in Taos. We're
Ah,
actually in one of the villages surrounding Taos. We're in Rancho State Taos, so we're just
Okay.
4 south of Taos Center. So as you're coming up from Santa Fe, we're one of the first things you come to before you start to enter the town.
Ah,
and now we talk about, haciendas. You're quite historic, aren't you? Your
We are.
adobe.
We're from 1832. So I'm sitting on the
Ah.
original 1832 porch with a mural behind me from one of the Taos Pueblo artists, Juan Mirabel. Yeah, so our original porch and our original building and 3 of our rooms, so our living room, kitchen, and 3 of the rooms, 2 on the porch, 1 behind off the back courtyard, are all from 1832.
Oh, amazing, amazing. When you think about this history, I think that's, Becky, you were on the show, the very first one last month, and we were talking about this unique experiences that you can only really get at a bed and breakfast, but this history comes in, the nature comes in. I think this is just one of those beautiful reasons to stay and really get that authentic feel of what is New Mexico true. Becky, tell us a little bit about what led you and your husband to say, hey, let's run the Casitas de Gila.
Well,
We
we've been
want the
here 20
gossip, know.
We've been here 23 years.
Wow.
Okay. And before we were here, we were living in Ireland. We were there for 7 years. We had a bed and breakfast. It was in our home. I was up every morning, and I'm sure that you others will appreciate this, but I was up every morning at 6 o'clock, baking and cooking and serving breakfast. And we did that for 7 years. And we said, okay, it's time to go back to the US. And we're sort of tired of the rain. And I'm sort of tired of having people in my home. And so we got really dry. We have really dried out since, especially this year.
Yes.
So we just said, that's it. We're good. We're coming back to the US, and we're going to find someplace dry, but someplace where there's no population, which we have here. And it's very beautiful. And we wanted to stay in hospitality and lodging, but we just didn't want those people in our home anymore. So we built the casitas. So they're here, but they're not, and we can see them whenever they want, and they can see us whenever they want, and it works out great.
Oh, it's awesome. And I think from when I'm going on your website and our conversations previously, that your visitors are really coming for that peace, quiet, and nature connection more than anything.
They absolutely are. They're coming to get away from it. Almost everybody that stays here lives in some kind of a populated area, and they're just escaping.
And they can cook on site. We should bring that up.
Yeah, they can do their own meals. And many people who are working, they don't have time to cook. So this is a great thing for them to have that kitchen and be able to cook for themselves.
Very, very cool. I want to go over to you, Carolyn, because you're also, out in the boonies. So you've got 3 major suites, right, for people to stay in, and some are lake views. But are you getting artists? Are you getting, people just seeking nature? What kind of guests are you getting?
We get the full gamut. So we, we're adults only. So everybody has to be 16 and old.
Good.
So we
Sorry. No offense. No offense.
No.
get a lot of romantic honeymoons, wedding, anniversary. We get a lot of want to get away. And then we get a lot of writers and producers. There's a lot of films that are made across the lake in Ghost Ranch. So a lot of actors and producers all stay here too. But we're really just anybody who wants to get away. And, we also have a kitchen. Being of nowhere, we wanted to make sure we had a kitchen for everybody to prepare food. We also do catered dinners. Then, of course, every morning we do a 3-course gourmet breakfast as well.
Oh, nice. And Christine, over at the Adobe up in Taos, so are a lot of people coming for the art, or is it nature? Well, you've got beautiful nature as well. I mean, it's amazing.
They're coming for everything. We have a lot of outdoor activities: hiking, rafting, hot air ballooning, bike riding around the Enchanted Circle. We have galleries. We have art shows and exhibits, a bunch coming up this summer. We have summer concerts, like we have Lyle Lovett and Chris Isaac coming, ZZ Top to Carson Parks. We get some fairly big Grammy Award-winning names. We have the big barn dance every fall. So we get a wide range of people because of the activities in town. When Pueblo's open, we have a little bit more culture going on. The Pueblo's been closed since COVID, unfortunately, but I think they might be opening up in August from the looks of their calendar. And they've opened a Taos Pueblo collective of artists at the visitor center here in Taos. So you can still visit them and purchase crafts and art from the different artisans, which is nice. But we also get a wide range of people because of the activities here. We get those people who want to hike. So we get young couples, we get college students even on spring break. We get people that got married here at Adobe and Pines 30 years ago, and they come to celebrate their anniversary. We have family reunions, we have weddings, elopements. We have a labyrinth here, so we get a lot of small elopements. Just two people and a witness. Sometimes I'm the witness. Yeah, which is sweet. Yeah, so we get a wide range also.
I was going to ask you too about your journey to becoming an innkeeper and then choosing Taos.
Oh yeah, so I was born in Pennsylvania. I lived in Boston. In between was in the Peace Corps in East Africa. So when
wow, that's our home.
Yeah.
Kenya.
East Africa?
Cool.
Yeah, Kenya.
Oh, I was in Uganda. So I was there for 5 years, and I stayed and worked for the Park Service. I'm a landscape architect by profession. And I did that for over 30 years in different settings, urban settings, in rural settings, with engineers, with architects. And then I was in the Peace Corps. I did interpretive guiding and tourism, ecotourism mostly. So I think I got the tourism bug, and also the landscape here drew me, I think, because we're in a gorge area. We're in a rift valley, and there's only a few in the world with this geology where, you know, we have this gap that was formed in the earth millions of years ago that's been filling in ever since. So I think that drew me here, just the landscape, the adobe architecture. I love the adobe architecture. It's
African.
Very
African. It's got shades of African.
For sure. And the red dirt, you know, the adobe is that red. Yeah. This is so interesting. Yeah. I think that's part of why we're so drawn to New Mexico too, is it's very African, that ruggedness. And like you were saying, the geology. I mean, even, you know, look at behind Becky, that is Africa. There's no way that's not Africa, but it is. It's New Mexico. So this is very cool. You know, Carolyn, what about you? What led you to the Grand Hacienda?
You know,
I went British there for a second.
My husband and I both have been in the financial industry, working Wall Street our whole careers. And we, about 20 years ago, found Abiquiu, or we like to say it found us. We were on vacation in Santa Fe. And from the minute we saw Abiquiu, it just kept pulling us back. So we bought some land and we built a house, which we've been doing vacation rental homes out here for about 15 years. And then when I retired from my career, we decided to move here full time and thought, well, we'll open a bed and breakfast. So, you know, we had a blank slate. We built this hacienda, took us 3 years to build.
Wow.
And then we opened 2 weeks before COVID hit. So it's been an interesting ride for us. But, you know, that's kind of what got us here, starting at renting out homes. We just loved it. We loved meeting the people, and being so remote, we still wanted that connection. So the rest is kind of history for us. We've been open about 2 years and loving every minute of it.
Wow, from Wall Street to Abiquiu, like
I know. Wow.
That's like a night and day. That's amazing. That's amazing. I love these stories of innkeepers because there's a connection to people, and I think there's a connection to the land and the history. There's always some, you know, I think innkeepers, I know, Becky, we talked about that previously, is there's that connection to the community. And you may not have a huge community there behind you, Becky, but you have a natural community, and you have Silver City right on your doorstep. I think, you know, obviously culture is the historic cultures that you have in New Mexico and that continue. That's a huge draw and connects you all. It's diverse in the state. And then on top of that, art has to be something that really ties the three properties together. And I think what's going on in Silver City, New Mexico, I think in 5 years, I'm excited to see where this is going for Silver City. I think it is becoming a mini Santa Fe / Taos, but it's Silver City. And each Taos is different than Santa Fe, right? So each place is different with its art, 100% different. But I feel like New Mexico as a state should just be like the art state. You know what I mean? What do you think, Becky, in Silver
Well,
City?
certainly the landscape here, the light and everything is an inspiration to artists, all kinds of artists, no matter what the medium. Painting, watercolor, oils, writing, jewelry making, rug making, whatever it is, the landscape, the light and everything really inspires people. And that's why we have so many artists. And my husband and I, we're artists ourselves. My husband paints and I make jewelry, and all of it inspired by what we see around us.
Can't beat Mother Nature, right?
No,
You know,
right.
for
No, you can't.
inspiration. No. And a lot of events. I know that you have the Clay Festival coming up still, right?
The Clay Festival is coming up in July. First time in 2 years that they'll be actually doing it again. And, there's a couple other things coming up this summer as well. There's a Southwest Word Fiesta. Well, that's in the fall.
Oh, yeah.
Of course, the 4th of July, we always have a parade. And the university has a Fiesta Latina where they celebrate all things Central American. So that's coming up as well. So, and then for our art scene in October, every October, there's Weekend of the Galleries over the Columbus weekend, where the galleries are all open.
That's awesome. I think that's what I was going to say. Culturally diverse, for sure. New Mexico really is. Yeah, because going to Central America tie is really quite big, actually, when you think of it. You know, it's amazing. And then this is a really beautiful time to visit. It really is. I mean, the river, how's the Gila River? Isn't the Gila River Festival in September?
That's in September, yes. And they've been doing that annually. So that's in September. And the fall is a wonderful, wonderful time to visit here. Just great.
Good for hiking. And you've got the Gila Cliff Dwellings National Monument, Gila Wilderness Area, and also Gila National Forest. I mean, you've just, is it the City of Rocks?
That is just south of Silver City. So that's certainly in the area. And the catwalk in Glenwood. Recreation area.
Ooh,
so yes, lots of things. Ghost towns. We've got ghost towns, lots of stuff here.
We like the catwalk. That's the only catwalk you'll ever see
do.
Nancy and I on. We're not good at fashion. We'll do your catwalk any day.
Yeah.
Well, speaking of catwalk, Christine, you've got that giant bridge. Seriously, that bridge, I'm scared of bridges. I'm not good at heights, but I did that bridge and I did it more than once. What was it? The Rio, oh my gosh.
Rio Grande del Norte National Monument is the whole.
It is a national monument, and the sunset. We went there for sunset. It's beautiful.
It's beautiful.
It is.
Amazing.
And the bridge does move when you walk on it. If a truck or a car goes by, you can feel it.
Yeah.
So if you're heights, you want to kind of go up above the bridge, and that's a great view, anyways. Above the bridge from the parking lot, you can walk out to the end of the gorge, and you can see the bridge with its depth to the river, and the gorge. Mountains in the background, the mesa, it's just breathtaking.
And you've got all that wilderness. I mean, I remember doing the drive up to, I was going to say Red River and Angel Fire and
the Enchanted Circle.
Oh, beautiful.
That's a beautiful drive. You feel like you're in Montana, Wyoming for part of it because it's very open ranch land. Mountains everywhere. Yeah, it's also breathtaking. Red River is almost a Texas town now. For generations, Texans have come up to escape the heat. It's probably about 15 degrees cooler in Red River. They're up at 10,000. We're down at 7,000 here in Taos.
Yeah. Wow.
You rise up in elevation quite a bit. Yeah,
I remember because it was snow. There was snow and we came up. It was last year.
Yeah, there's
March.
snow in June. You have to use snowshoes up there. Otherwise you could fall through holes. Yeah. And they do races where they transport people up to the top and then they bike down, which is nice, around the Enchanted Circle. Every year we get some of those bikers staying with us for a little bit of rest. Yeah.
How many rooms do you have?
We have 8 rooms. We can sleep 24. We have a family and friends suite, we call it, that sleeps 6. It's our only 2-bedroom.
Okay.
Then we have 2 casitas in the front of the property that were added on 30 years ago. We're celebrating our 30-year anniversary this year as a bed and
Oh,
breakfast.
congratulations. Wow.
Thank you.
Awesome.
So all the buildings other than the old house were added, and they were pre-manufactured in Albuquerque and trucked here and then set on shallow foundations and finished to look like the old adobe. So you'd never know they're the same age, almost 200 years old. Yeah, they're
Wow.
beautiful. They're a little more modern. They have jetted bathtubs, and we have 3 outdoor hot tubs here. So we have a nice variety. We have the smallest room on the porch for the single person traveling with their dog or with one child. They can fit in one of our smaller rooms, very basic, very affordable, up to our very deluxe rooms for honeymoon suites, or a family of 4 can sleep in 2 of our rooms, in addition to the one that sleeps 6. So we have a good variety.
That's nice. And
Oh,
I think that's another
nice.
thing you brought up is, a single person traveling, often a bed and breakfast is a good option where they feel like they have family around and even want if they were traveling for privacy, they can still have that. But especially for women traveling solo,
Yes.
I think it's
It
a
just
nice way to
seems
go.
More
Yeah, it's
secure.
yeah,
Right.
you're right. It is. Becky, how many casitas do you have? And do you get like groups like nature and birding groups and people like that?
We don't actively seek groups. We've got 5 casitas. One of them has 2 bedrooms and the others have a single bedroom. We don't actively seek groups because then they have to take everything. And
Yeah.
because of our small size, it just most of the time it doesn't work for us. We're happier having couples and small families here.
Okay.
Okay.
We get a lot of astronomers because the skies are so clear, and we get a lot of people who are bird watchers and rock hounders. So and hikers.
Yeah.
So it's all really outdoor oriented. Michael, my husband Michael, is very fond of saying that we let nature nurture you.
I love
Nice.
that. I love that. So
Cool.
Caroline, you say you have 3 suites, right, for people when they come to stay with you?
We
There's
do.
3.
We have 3 different suites in the bed and breakfast, and then we do have 2 separate vacation homes and then 2 separate studios as well. So we oftentimes will do family reunions and bigger groups, but it is hard to try to coordinate all the different properties. So we understand that challenge. But I wanted to also mention, we were talking about art before.
Yeah.
The huge art colony, started by George O'Keeffe, who, like us, she came here and she couldn't leave. So some of the things going on in Abiquiu, we have the George O'Keeffe Home and Studio Tour, which is open this summer, but they're doing a special exhibit this year in the Welcome Center called the O'Keeffe and the Landscape Exhibition. And they're showing a lot of her clothing, things that she used on her camping trips, some of the bones that she painted. So all of this is on display this summer in the Welcome Center. So that's exciting.
Yeah. And the bones, that's something when we went to Santa Fe, we went to the gallery, which I hear is expanding, but everybody thinks of George O'Keeffe and flowers, 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 but then it's like, there was cityscapes of New York, which you didn't expect to see, but then it's like, she's into bones, So every time I just photographed a carcass out in Oregon, like this huge elk carcass. It was in Klamath Marsh, right, Nancy, the National Wildlife Refuge. We're like, here's a carcass, and I was like, Georgia O'Keeffe would like it here.
Yeah.
So every time I see cow skulls and carcasses, I think of her. I know that sounds really weird, but
because it was so big, it was kind of astounding as we came across. It was an elk.
Yeah,
So
definitely elk.
That's a big skeleton. We're like, whoa, like, is there a dinosaur
it wouldn't be a
around here or
carcass,
something?
The carcass still has the meat on it, right? So yeah. The vultures are taking care of this one. Sorry.
Yeah, so the skeleton.
But that's the thing that I think until you really, unless you study her really well, or until you go to where she was, you don't really realize how she was like in like Rebirth. I think she kind of was like the painter of Rebirth with flowers and bones. That's neat.
Flowers and bones. That sounds funny.
Her house, you'll see what a minimalist she was. Like, she used rocks from outside and bones as decorations, and all of that is still in her home just as she left it. So it's really a great tour to take. Everybody's got to make reservations in advance because that sells out very, very quickly. And then I'd also mention that, every October, this year it's October 8th through 10 is the Abiquiu Art Studio Tour, where all the artists in the area, over 100 of them, will open up their galleries, and you kind of self-drive yourself to whichever of the galleries you want to see. And October is so beautiful here where the cottonwoods turn yellow. So it's a great time of year to plan to come if you're looking for an art weekend.
Oh,
Nice.
sounds good. That sounds so, yeah, going summer into fall. So art is like pretty much at the top
It's a
of the
big
list.
deal.
Art, I'd say art and nature is what you've got to experience this summer and fall, really,
And food.
And food. Okay. Yeah.
And food, yeah.
And food.
Okay. Okay. I know. So let's talk about food. What's going on for breakfast, Carolyn?
Well, we do a 3-course gourmet breakfast. We have one set menu every single day, and you come in the dining room or you sit outside, and we usually start with either fruit or a salad. We have a new breakfast salad that we just came up with. Tom and I love the kind of culinary creativity that owning a B&B allows us. We'll do a second course, which could be a baked asparagus or a souffle. And then we have kind of, a number of entrees that we've become kind of famous for, from our breakfast burrito to what we call the tomlet, because my husband, Tom, makes the best kind of root vegetable goat cheese omelet. So every morning it's going to be something totally different, but totally wonderful.
Nice.
Now, is there dining nearby? We haven't been to Abiquiu, so I'm just trying to, how isolated are you?
You have to come out here.
Okay.
Careful.
I mean, it's like we're on the road full time. We're coming.
You're
So
right.
at some point you'll see us for sure. And we love New Mexico.
The village of Abiquiu has a number of different restaurants. The village is about 25, 30 minutes away from us. And that's why out here at our B&B, we also provide catered meals. But in the village, you can eat at Abiquiu Cafe or Sierra Negra, Frosty Cow. I mean, there's a number of different wonderful.
Frosty Cow?
Yeah, they focus on ice, but they also have sandwiches. They've been here a very long time. Yeah.
I like the name
Wow.
Frosty Cow. That's
cute. I like it.
I'm into the Frosty Cow. Oh, moo. So, Christine, what's going on for breakfast at your place? At the
No, we
Adobe
also
Pines?
do, yeah, we're similar to Carolyn at the Grand Hacienda. We also have a gourmet breakfast, 2 or 3 course, depending on whether it's sweet or savory. We alternate between. So we have, everything from blue corn pancakes with pine nuts and bananas on them, to we're having migas tomorrow, which is kind of like a South New Mexico quiche, you could say. We serve it with black beans on the side, sauteed veggies with tortilla chips in it. And we bake it in a skillet and cut it like a pizza.
Oh,
Yeah, it's very tasty. We have fruit courses also, where we alternate and we do seasonal fruits. Like right now, we're starting to get into watermelon with anise or with lime. We do a lot of yogurt. We do very healthy breakfast. We have our own chickens. We do mostly organic, as long as we can find good organic. We had a microgreens farm start up last year. So we use microgreens on the side with some avocados and tomatoes for our little salads on the side, or we do a little fruit bowl on the side. And every breakfast is different for us. Also, we cater to gluten-free, sugar-free, whatever people have. We have keto diet people coming now. There's so many variations of what people can't eat. So we try to cater.
I would not be good at this. I'd be like, and Nancy and I did our stint of running a B&B for 3 nights. We're going to do it again. But honestly, to run and own, and it's like, here's your block of cheese. I'm going on Becky's side, where I think I don't think I could do the breakfast for every dietary need now. Is just, it seems like it's expanding, and you guys work so hard. I really take my hat off to you. It's off permanently. To what B&B, folks
know
go
what it takes
to
now.
make it work. And it is cool to do, but it's so, get it right. It's such a huge part. But Becky, you're out in the boonies. And so people, I think you're going to get a lot of those people. And we've stayed in a lot of bed and breakfasts like that, like Harper's Ferry, where they're like, dude, our people are out at 4 or 5 in the morning. So you're getting those kind of people, right, Becky, who they're just doing their thing, getting their coffee, and off they run to go get the birds.
Well, either that or they're not getting up until 10 or 11 o'clock in the morning because they don't have to come down to breakfast. So they're working on their own schedule. They can get up, they can make coffee, they can sit on the porch in their bathrobe, whatever they want to do. They're on their own schedule. And that's one of the really great things about B&Bs is that you have this variety. You can have everything. And it's not like a hotel where you know exactly what you're going to get. You stay in a Hyatt and you know exactly what you're going to get. With their B&Bs, everything is different. They're all different. They cater to every single different taste. I know when I travel, I want the breakfast, but why is that? Because I'm working all the time. Other people, they don't want to be bothered in the morning. They don't want to see anybody. They just want to get up and do their own thing and have their own space. And that's what we offer.
Well, I'll tell you what, Nancy and I either need coffee or a Bloody Mary or a mimosa before we
No, I think each B&B has its own personality, which is a nice relief. I mean, there are times when you use a chain hotel, depending on where you're going or why you're traveling. But I like the venues that have their own personality. It's a different experience. You could go to 100 B&Bs and every single one is different. And I like that. It's interesting.
We love it.
It's fun.
We love B&Bs. B&Bs rock staying in a bed and breakfast, and innkeepers know what's going on. You guys know the scandal, the scoop.
Yeah, they do know
it's
scandal.
Like, I know. You guys do know this. You know what's going on in the community. I know, because we go around, we'll photograph, and innkeepers will go, so where did you go? Well, well, this person did this, and they'll look and go, well, I'm not going to give you that information. But if I, you know what I mean. But you guys do know what's going on in the communities. And I think that's such a cool thing. And it's a personal experience for people getting away. And I think now more than ever, people really want a authentic experience. So very, very cool. Anything else we've missed on what people can see and do for summer, fall in the areas in your regions?
Yes, we didn't touch on the trains up here in northern New Mexico.
Ooh, wow. You got the choo-choos.
Baltic Scenic Train Ride. It's one of the oldest, not the oldest steam train in the United States. And it's just half an hour to 45 minutes north of Taos is where you catch it. Goes through Chama. It skirts in and out of Colorado. I think it's about 58 miles long. It has a dinner lunch on it. It's a lovely thing to do, especially in the fall when the colors are changing. So we have a lot of guests that come just to take that train ride. It's beautiful.
I know the fall colors, that's something to touch on. You were saying, Carolyn, that it just the cottonwoods turn into that beautiful yellow. New Mexico fall. I mean, you guys really do have the 4 seasons in a way, it's beautiful in the fall. Becky, in your area, that's got to be really magic too. I think we haven't done the nature side in fall. We've been to Silver City in fall a little bit. I don't think so, actually. Oh.
Well, the nice thing is down here is that our fall is later than up north. Our cottonwoods aren't turning until November. Yeah. So we're because we're so much further south. And I think maybe people don't understand the size of New Mexico. Christine up there in Taos is 8 hours from me. It's an 8-hour drive. And Carolyn, I think you must be pretty close to that as well. It's a huge state. And because of that, we have a huge diversity. So you can go catch the aspens and the cottonwoods up north in October, and then you can take another trip in November and get them down in the southern part of the state as well. So it's great.
Cool. That's cool, because I know, Christine and Carolyn, you're not far from where we are recording right now in Lubbock, Texas. So we just got to get on that road to Albuquerque and then move on from there. So you're not far from, but it's going to be completely different than what's going on here, but I think of, where you are near Silver City, Becky, Tucson, and El Paso folks have got to head up to your region for that change of scenery.
Well, absolutely, because we're cooler than they are.
No.
In more ways than one.
Anyway,
We're cool,
it's
dude.
not just temperature.
Dudes, we're cool.
We
are
are so cool.
Well, yeah. Well, but think about it, Tucson. Tucson's cooler than Phoenix. Phoenix gets a little sizzly, hot, sweaty, you know.
Mhm.
But
Yeah.
yeah, it's like to me, I always think, oh, New Mexico side, and it's such a scenic drive up through the. If you go through like
It's
Safford
beautiful.
and all that area into like, oh
Mm.
man, it's just New Mexico rocks. New
Yeah.
Mexico is cool. Let's just put it
It
that
is.
way, right?
You
It
guys have
is.
Abiquiu. Abiquiu is just an amazing landscape.
Yeah,
It's
because
really,
yours that
Yeah.
geology looks absolutely. Is that part of for you, Carolyn? What really kind of got you was that. I mean, it's almost like from the pictures I've seen and what you've sent in too is like the lake and the just that it's almost like the painted desert in a way. It's
Mm.
cool.
It is. It's actually Abiquiu is located right where the Colorado, where the rift and the plateau all merged millions of years ago and all of these mountains. And so you can see the different layers and the different colors of rocks. And that's why they found so many dinosaurs here. And there's
Yeah, see,
mammoth. They
Oh,
found
Nancy needs to go
very-
now. She's
I love dinosaurs. I have no idea why, but I love dinosaurs.
well, Ghost Ranch has a whole dinosaur museum that you'll have to
Yeah.
take in.
Oh,
no way.
But
cool.
But our different colored rocks are all because of that geology. And then you put the history and culture on top of it. The Tewa lived here, then the Navajo came through, the Spanish. So it's a perfect blending of, geology and history and cultures. And today we have, Native American, our Spanish and Hispanic, and kind of our Anglo cultures all blending beautifully. So it's really a special place to check out.
and that's why the food is so good.
Mhm.
That's exactly right.
Cultural
Yeah.
diversity means a good
Oh,
menu.
good food.
Period.
and Taos
All
and
of that.
Abiquiu are so close together. You
Mm.
Mhm.
can do a day trip from our place here to Santa Fe, to Chama,
Right.
to Raton, over to Abiquiu. They're all just day trips back and forth.
Yeah, we
So-
get a
Wow.
do all three. They go from Santa Fe to Abiquiu to Taos. And, I should mention too that in Santa Fe in the summers, there are wonderful events. In July is the International Folk Art Market. And then in August, you've got the Indian Market. And those are
Oh, yeah.
two,
Mm.
world renowned huge events that are fabulous, incredible artists.
Nice.
And music in the plaza.
Mhm.
Yeah.
We had a good time last
Yeah,
time in
we
Santa
did.
Fe when and music. Oh my gosh, now I just didn't say. I can't remember his name. Just went out of my head. But the music was top notch, and it's free
Mm.
concerts right in the plaza. The music was
Mhm.
incredible, and then you can do the Margarita Trail,
Exactly.
and then someone needs to
Which is
drive
why
you.
you don't remember the guy's name.
Have a designated
I want to say
driver.
it was Shiny Ribs or something. Shiny Ribs.
And we have Taos
Sounds
Plaza
good to me.
Live every Thursday all summer. We have a farmer's market every Saturday, all the way until October. We have one of the best farmers markets in the state up here. I'm not sure why.
And
we do. Yeah,
and you have Kit Carson's grave.
we
Yes.
do. Yes.
Yes, and you have to protect it.
Yeah, I
Yes,
went to the park. It's got such a cool mural in the amphitheater,
Mm.
that older amphitheater, and then Kit Carson. Well, we've got to go say hi to Kit Carson. I
Yeah,
mean, he was
yeah.
such a big deal in New Mexico's
Mhm.
history, your whole region. And then if you go over to Becky's area, you've got Billy the Kid, and his
That's
grave
right.
is down the road from
Mhm.
you, like we're in Fort Sumter, I think it is. Billy the Kid's grave, which has been stolen like 4
Yes.
times. Somebody
Mhm.
stole the grave,
That's
and now they've got a
crazy.
cage around it.
Yeah.
But anyway,
And don't forget all the hot springs. We
oh,
have
see,
Mhm.
that's the thing.
of hot springs from Ojo Caliente, which is between Abiquiu and Taos, and there's gorgeous drives to get there, which have hikes
Mm.
off of them. And then we have natural hot springs around the Taos area, going up towards Chama, over towards Las Vegas. Yeah,
Wow.
there's so much to do here. You could
Mm.
spend weeks.
See? So
Easily.
everyone, the
Yes.
Land of Enchantment is the place to go. So
Mhm.
get going for summer, which is now. So you got to just do it now. I know when COVID hit and travel was opening up, people were just booking like that we're on our way now kind of thing. Is that still happening, Becky, for you, or are you getting more advanced reservations?
It's still happening. It's probably going to slow down a little bit with the price of gas and of course, the media attention on the forest fires that we're having in the state. But my anticipation is that, well, here in the southern part of the state, we are hotter in the summertime, and we tend to have fewer visitors in the summertime. But come September, it'll pick right back up again, and we'll be busy.
So, and to touch on the fires, that's actually a really important point. How is your area? Do you recommend people still come in? You know, because when people hear wildfires, it's like, oh, don't go to the whole state kind of thought.
No, the Forest Service really handles those fires really well. They have a lot of people working on them, and the fire that we have down here is not threatening
Okay.
much except the forest.
Yeah. The one up here was huge, of course, the Hermit's Peak
Yeah.
fire that merged with the calf fire. Yeah, it was huge. It's under control now. It's at 56% containment. We've had 3,000 firefighters. Luckily here in Taos, the only impact we've had is the evacuees that have had to come, and the firefighters need places to stay. But we haven't had the poor air quality, the smoke. Luckily, it's been going in other directions. So, you know, in the 45 or 60 days that the fire was at its height, and it's still there, but it's diminished greatly. I think we had 2 days in Taos where we had smelled smoke, had to close our windows, where we had poor air quality. The rest of the time, it's just been gorgeous. It's been a beautiful year. We've had cancellations because of the fire, but they've rebooked them. People have made them shorter term. To answer your question, you know, with COVID, people were traveling like crazy maniacs afterwards, and we've had our highest occupancy ever last year. You know, we jumped from, you know, being in the 70s and 80s to being in the 95 to 100 occupancy for 5 or 6 months in a row. So it was crazy busy, you know, with our least amount of staff still, because that whole nother pandemic. Yeah, so the fires have impacted us a little bit in occupancy, but the people that have come have had an amazing experience because it hasn't been poor at all. You can still do lots of outdoor hiking. Our forests are closed more as a precaution. The Kit Carson National Forest is closed just to prevent another fire because we are so dry, but there's so much hiking here in the National Monument and all the Bureau of Land Management lands. There is just endless hiking. You don't need to go into the forest to hike, really. You can still take drives through the forest. You're just not supposed to be out there hiking, camping, you know, doing anything that could start another fire.
Good. And Carolyn, is your area fine in Abiquiu?
You know, we've had zero impact, no problems with air quality, no smoke. I mean, we're blessed in that the fires have all been, you know, remote from us, and the wind going in the other direction. So similarly, you know, with the national forest being closed, those hiking trails are closed, but there's so much other hiking. So we've really not, I think people have escaped too, because it is kind of it's not impacted by the fires.
Good. So, and I want to tell everyone, go to the website, because go to NMBBA, so the New Mexico Bed and Breakfast Association, so nmbba.org. Go on, you will see all these different bed and breakfasts according to where you want to go. And the best thing to do is just contact the innkeepers and see how things are. And if you're concerned, innkeepers will know about roads or direct you to the right places, about travel, but don't not go, you know, because I know that happens. It's like, oh, New Mexico's on fire. Let's, you know, that, you know what I mean? So don't do that. Don't do that. Don't do that. It's open, and just talk to the innkeepers before you make decisions. If you're nervous about it, and of course do what's comfortable, you know. But if you go to the website there, you'll be able to choose from. How many inns do you have in the association again, Becky?
There's some 17 inns, and I'd also like to point out that on our website there's a link to meet the innkeepers, where you can read about each of our innkeepers and how they ended up doing what they're doing. And they are
Nice.
really incredible stories. They're very, very interesting stories.
Oh, nice.
Absolutely. Yeah, it
I
is.
like
It's
that.
true. There's
Mhm.
always a cool story behind it all. You know,
Exactly.
it's and it's like it's
Mm.
entrepreneur stories and it's hard work stories and you have to clean rooms at times, you know, it's like we
But it's
know about
people,
that.
people.
It's
like
people
people.
and sometimes you have
know.
to be really polite at 5 a.m. So, you know, I think mimosas all around for all of you. So, early morning coffee and tea. But thank you all for joining us again. Becky's website for the Casitas de Gila guest houses in Gila, right outside Silver City in Southwest New Mexico, is casitasdegila.com.
Mhm.
Also for Carolyn at the Grand Hacienda in Abiquiu Lake, it is thegrandhacienda.com. And Christine, I'm not going to try your last name again. Did I at least get it anywhere close to right?
Stupinski, you're very close.
Stupinski. Okay, I was getting there. Of Adobe's and Pine Inn in Taos is adobepines.com. Did I get all your websites correct? And
Yes.
Yeah.
Mm.
get booking, people,
And-
get going.
Well, yeah, and when you look at those websites, they're beautiful. Well
Yeah.
done, ladies. They're
I
beautiful
know. We're
websites.
looking at your websites
I'm
now.
like,
and we're
we need to go.
man, I know. We need to do
know.
some detours, man. Like seriously, we need to come back to New Mexico. It's just
Mhm.
like you just want to go sit out, like on what you're doing, sit out on the patio or
Mm.
porch, take in the the gardens and the fresh air and
Nice.
just
The
and see
birds.
the birds. Yeah, the birds. You guys have an awesome birding trail in New Mexico.
Yeah.
So definitely everyone, NMBBA.org. And of course, keep up with us at bigblendradio.com. Every second Thursday, we do the Innkeeper Show. Thank you all.
Thank you
Thank
so much.
Thanks, ladies.
Thank you, Lisa.
Bye-bye.
Gracious hosts, unique lodging, and tasty cuisine. New Mexico bed and breakfasts are New Mexico true. Our innkeepers are as special as New Mexico, and we're sharing their stories. Read about them and plan your trip at nmbba.org.